With the release of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I thought it'd be a bit fun to take the Sorcerer Supreme and venomize him. So let's bring him into the Multiverse Story Arc and let's bring this illustration to life. We continue our story on Earth. Megatron, along with the venomized Decepticon warriors, departed the spaceship and were headed towards the location of the Ark, where Optimus Prime and the Autobots were based. On their travels, Megatron noticed what looks like signs of a battle had happened within the desert area. Soundwave turned to Megatron and said, "There are concentrated gamma readings in this area. It matches readings of the organic agents known as the Hulks on this planet, advising caution." Megatron looked at Soundwave and ordered the Decepticons to continue advancing. At this point, Teletron 1 had picked up the Decepticons' ship and announced that Megatron and a large number of Decepticon warriors had arrived and were heading towards the Ark. Hearing this, Optimus Prime ordered the Autobots to roll out and intercept Megatron before he reaches the Ark. Optimus Prime, Hot Rod, Bumblebee, and the Dinobots headed out towards the Decepticon army. Optimus Prime also sent out a call for Blaster and several Autobots who were not in the base to meet them, as Megatron had arrived on Earth. Megatron's arrival had not gone unnoticed on Earth, and one of Earth's greatest defenders of creatures from across the multiverse and other worlds, the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, had detected the strange energy Megatron had let off as he exited the cocoon while in Earth's orbit. Upon noticing the threat, Doctor Strange sent out a message to the heroes of Earth to gather in the desert area to combat this threat. This was a simple spell for the Sorcerer Supreme that allowed him to communicate with the heroes he had encountered before. After sending the message, Doctor Strange began to prepare for the upcoming battle. He no longer had the Time Stone, but was able to perform amazingly powerful spells as his skills had continued to develop. Meanwhile, back in the desert, Megatron and his army had come into view of Optimus Prime and the Autobots. "Finally, we will end this, Prime," shouted Megatron. Optimus Prime transformed from his vehicle mode and shouted, "Megatron, one shall stand, one shall fall." With that, the Decepticons had opened fire on the Autobots, and a massive battle ensued. As the blasts were going back and forth in the ensuing chaos, it was picked up by the news crews of Earth, and the chaos was transmitted worldwide. This caused all the venomized heroes and villains to start heading towards the desert area. Although, even if it wasn't televised, these heroes and villains and the venomized members on Earth would have headed that way as if drawn by some strange urge or desire. While they were travelling to the desert, the battle was getting more and more intense, with both sides at what seemed to be a stalemate. In order to break the stalemate, Megatron ordered the Decepticon warriors to transform to show their new power. With that command, the Decepticon warriors stopped firing for a few cycles and they all changed into the venomized forms. "What's going on, Optimus? They've changed to some weird creature." Before Bumblebee could say another word, he was shocked when his optics saw Optimus Prime also change into a strange, similar creature along with Hot Rod. "Optimus Prime!" shouted Megatron. "How is it you also have this form? Why is it so hard to kill you? Decepticons, attack!" Megatron had noticed the Autobots seemed to have less converted warriors, and Megatron decided to press forward and take advantage of the situation. Just as the two forces were about to clash properly for the first time, both were sent flying backwards by some strange force. "What the Prime? What sorcery is this? What did you do?" "What did I do? It wasn't me. What did you do, Megatron?" Just then, strange glowing sparks began to fill a spot in the air. The sparks grew into a circle and a port opened with a figure floating through it. "Well, I must admit you are right. It is sorcery, but it wasn't Optimus Prime who did it." "Another strange organic," thought Megatron. "That's almost right, Megatron. But the name's strange. Doctor Strange." "What? How did you know what I was thinking? I must eliminate this one immediately. It's too dangerous to let him live." In the next moment, Megatron changed into his venomized form and fired an energy blast at Doctor Strange. As the blast hit, Doctor Strange was in the middle of chanting a spell. Normally, this wouldn't have been a problem, but the changed energy from the Cybertronian symbiote bonded with Megatron had an unexpected effect on impact. There was a loud explosion, and as the dust was settling, Optimus Prime and Megatron could see the shadowy figure of Doctor Strange. They both shot a tendril in their venomized forms at the figure they saw. Both Prime and Megatron looked at each other, wondering who had been successful in adding the Sorcerer Supreme into the member of their ranks. As the dust settled, Megatron and Optimus Prime both looked in confusion. Optimus could only utter one phrase: "By the Allspark." Megatron meanwhile shouted, "What's the meaning of this?" To their disbelief, there were two Doctor Stranges. Both had been hit by one of the venomized tendrils that had been shot in from either side. The two sorcerers looked at each other. They started to cast a spell. They both started to turn into venomized forms. One looked similar to Optimus with the standard blue colour of a venom symbiote, with the white design on his chest. The other looked purple in colour, similar to Megatron, but with some Cybertronian symbols on them, which is different than the other Decepticons. These symbols were on the arm and the body of the character. And there's also a strange third eye on the face. The two venomized sorcerers looked at each other and began their magical battle. What did you guys think? Did you enjoy how this illustration came out? I'm really pleased with the overall composition of this piece. The first time I've tried to do two characters battling each other. I know it's the same Sorcerer Supreme, a good version and an evil version, but getting the poses right and the angles for this kind of like aerial battle, a little bit tricky, but I had a lot of fun doing this. Let me know who else you want to see venomized on the channel in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this picture in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you haven't done already. But in the meantime, stay safe everybody, and I'll catch you next time.